What's going on, everybody? TJ here from TJ's Take to break down the single game between the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. This one's in Oakland tonight. They gave us the late one, so that's a 10:20 start. That's kind of a bummer because that Saints and Houston game would have been a really fun single game to play, but FanDuel likes to do this to us sometimes. But that's not such a bad thing. I mean, it'll make your Tuesday a lot better. What's better than waking up on a Tuesday with $50K in your account and you didn't even know it? Hopefully that's the case. If you didn't listen to the last podcast, but you're familiar with kind of how the single games work, I cover the FanDuel slate. It doesn't mean you can't take the information from here over to DraftKings. On DraftKings, you pay, 1.5 times the price for the top spot. On FanDuel, it doesn't cost you anything. For the MVP, it doesn't cost you any extra at all, and there's only 5 players over here as opposed to 6 on DK. If you're not familiar with how single games work, excuse me, you just pick 5 players. A lot of the times on FanDuel, it is the top 5, like it is a perfect lineup, unless like one team absolutely blows someone out, because you have to have at least one player from the opposing team. Let's see here. No real injury news. Besides, if you've been living under a rock, you know Antonio Brown's not playing for Oakland. But other than that, no real injury news. These single games, we like to leave a bunch of salary. Don't get too caught up with having to use all your salary. You want to be as different as possible, especially if you're going for the 50K. If you're playing a cash lineup, go ahead and use all your salary. But from my experience, most people in these single games definitely like to attack that top prize there. So we're going to go through some lineups and try and be as different as possible, but not too crazy where we have no shot. A game like this, Denver at Oakland, I kind of like the kickers here. I know you think of kickers and you don't really want to roster them, but they're always super low owned. And if they hit a 50-yarder and a 40-yarder, you've got yourself 9 points right there. And then somebody scores a touchdown, you get yourself double digits. That's a lot of points for these single games, and kickers can easily be up there, especially in a game like this. First look, I'm kind of floating more towards the Denver side here, so I'll do some Denver stacks, but we're definitely going to throw in a couple Oakland lineups just in case. I mean, it is week 1, anything can happen. So let's dig right into it. I think that top spot, most of my lineups will definitely have Phillip Lindsay in there. Oakland, terrible rush defense last year. Not the greatest defense all around. Denver's a little tricky this year. They have Vic Fangio. He came over from the Bears, so you know he's good defensive mind there. Broncos definitely have the talent on the defensive end to be better than last year. So we'll just have to see there. I don't love Derek Carr. I don't love the price at $14,000. I do kind of like Joe Flacco. I think he's going to be able to spread it around against this defense. So let's go ahead and plug Joe Flacco in under Phillip Lindsay there. And when we build these, we build them. We don't just plug in random players. So we like to think of situations and see what can happen there. So in that Bears-Green Bay game, we had Allen Robinson. The perfect lineup was Allen Robinson up top. So you obviously pair him with Trubisky since he's a receiver. So they're getting points together. Then the other 3 was Aaron Rodgers. This isn't going to be that type of game, but I mean that one was only 10-3, but still nobody did anything at all. Paired Aaron Rodgers with Jimmy Graham, threw a touchdown pass, and then Valdez-Scantling caught a deep ball or 2 and ended up with 8 or so points. So that's kind of how we want to attack this here. So we'll pair Emmanuel Sanders with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco can still throw to Phillip Lindsay, and Phillip Lindsay is going to get points on the ground as well, so that's why he's in that top spot. Joe Flacco in the second spot, Emmanuel Sanders in the third spot, and then I like either Darren Waller or Daniel Carlson for Oakland. I'm just going to assume in this situation Yeah, we're going to go with Daniel Carlson here. Um, just hoping Oakland doesn't have too much offense and they get down the field for maybe a couple kicks and that's all they do. And Daniel Carlson can get himself about 9 points. And then that leaves us with $13,000 salary remaining. Sure, we can go up and get Josh Jacobs. A ton of people are going to have that lineup. You don't want to split that 50K with that many people. Um, we hit first even with that million. There was 300,000 people in it. People got $10,000 cuts. So that's a lot of people sharing first in that one. This one's not as dramatic. I mean, I think there's, how many people in this one? 33,000. So we don't have to get too crazy and too different. But if you want to be by yourself up there and win that 50K, you kind of have to be. So I can go get McManus here, which I kind of want to do. But I almost, now that I'm talking about it, I was deciding between Waller and Carlson. Waller's really, I think, is going to be Derek Carr's number one target, and he's at tight end. If you're not familiar with Hard Knocks, Darren Waller's just kind of a guy who's getting his first shot, but this guy looks insane. The only reason he wasn't a starting tight end before, he was out in and out of the league with drug issues, but this guy can definitely play, and he can jump out of the gym. No, they're not playing in a gym, but he is just an insane talent. He's going to get those jump balls. Sorry, I'm looking over here just to make sure there's nobody else I'm missing. As far as receivers, Tyrell Williams is another route you can go there, but I like plugging Waller in there or even McManus. So that leaves us $4,500 salary. I like that a lot. Don't think that's a lineup a lot of people are going to have. Go ahead and plug that one in. And let's go back and let's go more of an Oakland route here just in case something does happen. Most of my lineups are going to be more Denver based. I just see them taking this game over. I got to get back to that. So in this one, I'm kind of interested to see how this Josh Jacobs does. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that defense is. That Broncos defense. Gosh, if I can get back to it here. But like I said, I think Vic Fangio will have these guys ready to go. I think Oakland is just a dysfunctional mess right now, and I don't see them coming out and playing well in week one. I mean, Derek Carr has his moments, but I really don't see him as a great quarterback. And with that $14,000 price, I think I can do other things, but let's go ahead and plug him in a lineup just in case. I'm going to put Josh Jacobs up there up top, plug him in with Derek Carr. They say Jacobs can catch the ball too, so we'll see if Derek Carr can throw him some passes. I like throwing Darren Waller or Tyrell Williams in one. Either or, it's your choice. Since we just played Waller, we'll go ahead and plug Tyrell in this one. And then I like going, and let's kind of go the other way around. Flacco's flat. Denver just doesn't have the offense at all, so let's go get McManus here. Good kicker. Can definitely get you some points. It's kind of a bummer it's not in Denver because then you would definitely be playing the kickers with that altitude. And then we have $15,000 salary remaining. I like getting Phillip Lindsay at $13,500. I think that's a great play. You can definitely go Emmanuel Sanders. I wouldn't put Joe Flacco in this spot because we don't have any Denver receivers at all. So there's nobody, if he's completing passes, sure, he's getting points, but somebody else is getting points. So we don't want that if we have these Oakland guys. So we'll go ahead and plug Phillip Lindsay in there. Just he's going to be running the ball. He could score a touchdown. Derek Carr throws one to each of those guys. McManus gets a couple kicks. I like that lineup. We leave $1,500 salary remaining. And there's another build. Let's go back to the Denver side and put Flacco up top. Let's say he just controls this defense pretty well. We're going to plug Sanders and one of my favorite plays. So the tight end situation is a little tricky for Denver. They have this Noah Fant. He's a rookie. He said he was going to get some playing time. He's coming out of a sickness or like a minor injury, so I wonder what that'll do to his snaps. But this Jeff Heuerman, he's a tight end. He played a little last year, had some good games. I'm going to go ahead and plug him in there. He's only $5,000. I really like that there. And then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to grab Derek Carr just in case he does throw a touchdown pass. And then again, I can go Waller or Tyrell Williams. And that leaves us $8,500 salary remaining. I love it. Nobody's going to have that. That's an easy way to be super different. So we have Joe Flacco, Emmanuel Sanders, Jeff Heuerman, Derek Carr, and Darren Waller, or Tyrell Williams. I like them both. And then let's go through some guys that you shouldn't really look over. If you're going to make a bunch of lineups, these are kind of some punt plays. Hunter Renfrow, the kid from, he went to Clemson, national champion. If you watched Hard Knocks, you saw him on there. He could be sneaky. He's supposed to start, so we'll see. I like that play. He's $6,000, not quite min price. I think you can come here and get, I don't know if Devontae Booker is going to get many snaps or not, but that's another way you can go. I'll have to check the news on that because that might be an interesting play. We can't forget about Jalen Richard. He kind of stepped it up a little bit towards the end of the year last year. Let's just kind of check his game logs. Yeah, so he can definitely be in the top 5 there if he gets a few touches. We'll see how much he splits with Josh Jacobs, but again, he's a guy I might put in 10%, if not less, than your lineups if you're going to make a bunch. Noah Fant, another guy that I mentioned already. Who knows? He might get more snaps than Heuerman there. I definitely like Heuerman better if you're going to play one of those guys. Don't necessarily think you need it. That's another guy you can go to. Deshaun Hamilton, wide receiver for Denver. He kind of stepped up a little bit last year when they had those receiver injuries. Can't forget about Royce Freeman. I don't think he's that great. I won't have very much exposure to him, but hey, he can score a touchdown too. It only takes, like in football, it's so tough because all it takes is one play. It's not like basketball where usually the top guys or good role players who get rebounds, who get steals are up there. Football, all it takes is one play. I think last year there was a Green Bay game where they have a tight end named Tanyan. Nobody really knows who he is. He was 0.1% owned, and it won somebody $100K just from having him in their lineup. So all it takes is one play. Just kind of going through anybody who could get points. I like Renfrow. If I had to pick one out of all these 6,000 or 5,000 guys, it would either be Renfrow or Heuerman. Probably Heuerman a little higher than Renfrow. But yeah, we'll be doing these videos all year. This is week 1. It's a tough one to call. We'll see how both of these teams play, and both of them will be on Sunday, Monday, Thursday Night Football again. That's when we do these breakdowns, and we'll definitely know a lot more. But other than that, go out and win yourselves that 50K, and make sure you check out all the other articles. If you didn't read the baseball articles or you're not subscribed to baseball, it is a good time to start playing some baseball DFS. All of the tournaments are a lot smaller now. All the contests, are a lot smaller now, a lot easier to win. All the big DFS names are definitely going over to football. They're all researching football all week. So you have a way better odds at taking down one of those big tournaments in baseball from here until the end of the year. Well, until you hit the playoffs, a lot of people start hopping back for those big prizes. But other than that, that's it, and good luck.